say a very dark, depressing day for us here. So we're at Kalamazoo and Warden. About 7:42, we got a call of shots fired. Officers responded. 3 individuals inside a residence here on the 900 block of Warden. All 3 shot, all 3 deceased, and that's an adult female and 2 children. Looks like they're teenage age. Haven't ID'd everybody yet. Obviously, haven't located the family, so we're not ready to give out names, things like that. But this is the most violent day that I've ever seen here, and just devastating for especially the fact that we have 2 young people that have been killed. So open investigation. We don't have anybody in custody at this time. Obviously, you see a large police presence. We're doing a full canvass, asking the neighbors if they've seen anything, if they have any information for us, please reach out. It's very important that we get answers as soon as possible.
Well, there's nobody in custody yet. Is there a possible person of interest or anything that leads to believe that this was targeted or domestic or anything that might lead you guys?
Too early to say. Fortunately, we have an early 911 caller. We have neighbors, which all seem cooperative, so we're trying to put all that together. We actually had a canine here very early. Obviously, fresh snow on the ground, to look for footprints in the snow, things like that. So we have a lot to go with, but we want to make sure that we get it right for something. It doesn't get more serious than this. So we're going to make sure that we do everything by the book, methodically, but still, if there are neighbors, if there are individuals who have information about this incident, 900 block of Warden, please reach out. We need that info.
And have your officers responded to that particular residence before?
Not that I'm aware of, no. This isn't it's not a residence that I'm familiar with, not a family that I'm familiar with. So, yeah, we're doing a lot of learning and obviously a lot of investigating. The sooner we get get the answers that we need, the better.
Is the investigation at a point where this can be considered for sure a homicide with possible people that
from the preliminary evidence that we have, and I think what you're going with, is it possible it would be a murder-suicide or something? It looks from the information that we have that this is a pure homicide, that these 3 individuals were all murdered. Clearly, things can change, but that's what we've got so far.
How much more complicated does it get for the canine units and the detectives with the weather to
the
try
snow? Sometimes it's a hindrance. Obviously, we got officers standing out here for a long time, over an hour now. Areas where there could be potential evidence, they just have to stand until our team is able to pick it up. The snow is continuing to fall, so it can't cover up potential evidence. So it makes things more complicated, but then sometimes it pans out for us. Like I said, the first thing that the arriving officers looked at was where, are there tracks in the snow and where do these tracks go? So obviously not the best conditions out there, but we're out here for the long haul. We're gonna get these answers as soon as we can.
The 3 victims, how young is the youngest, if you could say?
I believe they're all teenagers, but I don't have that definitive answer yet.
Even though you cannot say what their names are, their identities right now, have they had any prior connection with law enforcement?
Not that I'm aware of. Yeah, that would be a surprise to me if that was the case. I think we have 3 truly innocent victims.
Well, you have your officers have not responded to that particular residence before. How about this particular section of the neighborhood around this area of Kalamazoo Avenue?
Generally, this block here on Warden 900 block is generally pretty peaceful. As you can see, it's all residential. A lot of good families. Even since we've been out here canvassing. Young people shoveling, very friendly to the police, and just having conversations with us. So this isn't a problem area. It's not a violent area. It's really just known to be a good neighborhood.
When first responders got there initially, was there any signs of life on the 3 victims?
I don't believe so. Although I did. So I was obviously not here on scene. I was still at my residence. I do listen to the radio, and I heard life-saving measures were attempted. I think I heard that there was CPR in progress. 3 ambulances arrived, so they took the steps. If there was a chance, that these officers gave everything they could, and that's another consideration. Now I have a group of officers that try to save the life of 2 young people. That's obviously going to impact them for the rest of their career, rest of their lives, most likely. So another concern here, not only that, but the impact it's going to have on this on this neighborhood, on this block here, the 900 block of Warden. When you talk about young people, as I said, there's literally kids out here shoveling for their neighbors right now. I'm sure these young people had friends in the neighborhood. I think this whole area is going to be devastated by this.
So, without a suspect, without a person of interest, without any arrests, is there a danger to the public then?
It's too early to say. I would say there's clearly not a danger right now with the very large police presence down here. As soon as we have more answers, as soon as we have somebody in handcuffs, we want to share that information. But it's just too early to say.
And then you talked about just generally this area, like, okay, not really quiet. And then the residents, there hasn't been any. How about just like any possible initial leads, any initial like reports of possible threats?
Yeah, nothing that you would think like, oh, this is an area where there's drug trade or gang activity or something like that, some sort of violent activity that the officers are unaware of. This is truly just a residential area. Good people live here. Good people on this block, people that look out for each other. So as of now, I just don't have those answers.
Anything else, of course, that the public needs to know about this?
Not that the public needs to know, other than we really would like their help. If there's somebody with information out there, please reach out. It's important to us. If you're not comfortable with calling the police, please call Silent Observer. You can do it anonymously. You can text. You can email. So any help, this is too important not to reach out.
And I do have one more, and that is, while there are no prior indicators so far as to like, anything that could set this off from like, were there any threats of any kind or any prior connections to that? Are there any initial indications that the victims, this residence, is connected to any prior investigation, any prior case, regardless of how recent?
No, I'll tell you, David. That's usually something that I would say I can't answer at this time, but I'll say I can't answer. I don't think there's any connection at all. So this one, as the officers arrived, this is one that it started out as a mystery of what's going on, and we're looking forward to getting those answers as soon as possible.
Anything else, Chief?
No, thanks for taking the time to talk to me.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah,
appreciate it.
Yep.